Judah and Tamar, chapter 38 in the video section. Taking the Bible again, one chapter at a time. Here, I got time. It's in the video section, more than 3 minutes. So again, I can comment as I go. Well, I'm going to say first, Tamar was Judah's, that's one of the sons of the 12 tribes of Israel, stepdaughter. The other thing in Israel, if the son died, his lineage had to continue. So second brother had to have a child from her, and that first child they had would be for the lineage considered of the brother who died. So his lineage would keep going. That's what happened here. But Judah never gave the second or third sons after the first died to have child for the first one, which was Tamar. So Tamar set it up with him, actually her father-in-law. And that's where the story, you'll pick it up as I go here. At that time, Judah left his brothers and went down to stay with a man of Adullam named Hurrah. There Judah met the daughter of a Canaanite man named Shua. He married her and lay with her. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son, who was named She conceived again and gave birth to a son and named him Onan. She gave birth to still another son and named him Shelah. It was at Kezeb that she gave birth to him. Judah got a wife from his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. Judah got a wife for his son. That was his son his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. There's Tamar. But Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the Lord's sight, so the Lord put him to death, it says here. Then Judah said to Onan, the second brother, lie with your brother's wife and fulfill your duty, as I said to you, as I explained. Duty to her as your brother-in-law to produce offspring for your brother. I explained that earlier. 9. But Onan knew that the offspring would not be his, so he lay with his brother's wife, and he spilled his semen, his spermatozoa, on the ground to keep from producing the offspring. What he did was wicked in the Lord's eyes, because basically disobeying God and the Lord's sight. So the Lord, put him to death. So now he's dead. This is where the third one was too young, and that's why she did what she did with her father-in-law. Will come here, and I'll leave it there. The rest is self-explanatory. Judah then said to his daughter-in-law Tamar, live like a widow in your father's house until my son Shelah grows up, for he thought he may die too, just like his brother. So Tamar went to live in her father's house. He also worried in case he spilled his seed too. He already lost 2 sons. After a long time, Judah's wife, the daughter of Shua, died. When Judah had recovered from his grief, he went up to Timnah, to the men who were shearing his sheep, and his friend Hurrah the Adullamite went with him. When Tamar was told, because he forgot about it, you know what I mean? Like, your father-in-law, she thought she had no children. Your father-in-law is on the way to Timnah to shear his sheep. She took off her widow's clothes, covered herself with a veil to disguise herself, and then sat down at the entrance to Inan, which is on the road to. She dressed like a whore, because she said, "My father-in-law, forget about me. I need a son. I'll get it from him." That was her ruse, and that happened. Such, which is on the way to Timnah. For she saw that though Shelah the youngest had now grown up, she had not been given to him as a wife. When Judah saw her, he thought she was a prostitute. There you go, for she had covered her face. Not realizing that she was his daughter-in-law, he went over to her by the roadside and said, come now, let me sleep with you, which was wrong, of course. And what will you give me to sleep with you? She asked. I'll send you a young goat from my flock, he said. Excuse me. It's late. It's hard. Will you give me something as a pledge until you send it? She asked, like something in the meantime. He said, what pledge should I give you? Your seal and its cord, and the staff in your hand, she answered. So he gave them to her and slept with her, a sexual relation with her, and she became pregnant by him. After she left, she took off her veil and put on her widow's clothes again. So I don't know how long it took. His son had to grow up, so it was years. So, and they knew she was a widow. So now she's pregnant, right? She had to explain that. 20, and she had a good explanation. I mean, in the sense of, was half right, but did it wrong. Anyhow, 20. Meanwhile, it was her father-in-law. Meanwhile, Judah sent the young goat by his friend, the Adullamite, in order to get his pledge back from the woman. But he did not find her. He asked the men who lived there, "Where is the shrine prostitute who was beside the road at Edom?" "There hasn't been any shrine prostitute here," they said. So he went back to Judah and said, "I didn't find her. Besides, the men who lived there said there hasn't been any shrine prostitute here." Then Judah said, "Let her keep what she has, or we will become a laughingstock, looking all over for a prostitute to pay her, After all, I did send her this young goat, but she didn't find her. But you didn't find her." 24. About 3 months later, Judah was told, "Your daughter-in-law Tamar is guilty of prostitution, and as a result, she is now pregnant." Well, they told him the story, but they didn't know about that it was him, or right? Judah said, "Bring her out and have her burned to death." As she was being brought out, she sent a message to her father-in-law, "I am pregnant by a man who owns these." She said, that was her ruse, smart. And she added, "See if you recognize whose seal and cord and staff these are." Judah recognized them and said, "She is more righteous than I, since I wouldn't give her to my son Shelah." And he did not sleep with her again. When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb, and she was given birth. One of them put out his hand, so the midwife took a scarlet thread and tied it on his wrist and said, came out first. But when he drew back his hand, his brother came out, and then she said, "So this is how you have broken out?" And he was named Perez, because after the other one came out, they realized they didn't have it on his wrist. So the other one came out first. This his brother, who had the scarlet thread on his wrist, came out, and he was given the name Zerah. Then his brother, who had the scarlet thread on his wrist, came out, and he was given the name Zerah. In other words, he put out his hand, she tied it, and he put it back in. The other one came out because you could tell he didn't have it on the wrist. And just explain that here. It's funny, Perez, the 10 tribes of Israel, went to Assyria, never came back. They went northwest, it says. That's to Europe. Probably Europe, who knows, up 5-10 million at the time. But the Israelites, probably half the Europeans today are Israelites, other than the tribe of Judah, Benjamin. That's why they have the names, and half of Judah, the Levitical the tribe that was split in half to the house of Israel and in the north and south of Judah, so they could keep doing the priestly work. Excuse me. That's why I got the names in modern day Israel today of Judah, Levi, Levine, and Benji, Benjamin, Jude. Anyhow, it's enough. That's chapter 38, okay? Anyways, when they get northwest, there's a lot of Perez in the Iberian Peninsula, especially Spain, right? Well, Portuguese is P-R-E-S instead of P-R-E-Z. Anyhow, okay, bye.